Hi guys, it is February 28th. Welcome to our team call. Tonight I want to start off with some recognitions. Where is Shelby? You're here, yeah. So Shelby is actually Shelby, did you achieve the silver? Did you do it? Oh, I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I was happy to hear we're extending it till March 2nd because there's like some issues with this system right now online. And I had a lot of trouble today placing orders and then like with the callbacks and everything. So I still can't see my volume like online because like it hasn't updated yet. So I'm not sure. But
it's updated now, so you should be able to see.
oh, okay. Okay.
But you were at, did you reach the first incentive, the 2,500?
I believe so. Yeah. I'm like, your dad's really helping me like just like figure things out because the points and stuff is still a little bit confusing for me, especially when you get into like the, OPV and like the second leg. And like, if you take that leg away, I know like Zach did it, no problem, but
Saturday trainings, guys. That's why it's important.
I know.
With repetition, because you learn as you hear it over and over and over again. You can also watch recordings because those are posted on the Sovereign Life team. But congratulations, Shelby. And for almost getting to silver, you're close.
Yeah, 2 days. I'll get it.
I also want to congratulate Kyla for investing in her products today. So congratulations. And what did you get? You were telling us you got a water, well, you got your water pack.
I got the water pack, and then I ordered my dad a waterfall, and he said if he likes it within a couple of days, he's going to order one for his office too.
Oh, great. That's such a good one. Congratulations. Now I can't see all your guys' stuff. Does anyone else have any wins that I can't see on my end in terms of points? Did anyone achieve Power Start this month, or did anyone achieve or help someone get to Power Start, or get I think the other incentive was 2,500 points volume. I'm close to there, so we're going. But anyone else? No? Okay, no worries. So congratulations to you guys. Tonight we're gonna do so like I said, the month end is gonna be on the March 2nd now. So you still have 2 days to get in some orders and to get that volume up. And yeah, another thing that we need to talk about is testimonials. So tomorrow night's call is going to be a product testimonial call. And that's going to be our new rhythm. It's going to be the Tuesday, as we said, is going to be products. Thursday is still being mapped out. I think my dad is probably going to come on the last bit to kind of go over like a training on, or a kind of like an overview of what we're going to do next or on Thursday. But we still have the recordings on the Sovereign Life page, which you can always look at to send to people if you want to send them the Life on Purpose presentation. But these Tuesday calls will be great. So with that being said, we have Shelby, did your mom confirm that she'll be on tomorrow?
I'm going to try my best to get her on. Like, I don't live with her right now, so I can't just make her come to the computer, but I'm going to do my best.
You ask her?
She's really shy. Yeah, I've asked her. She was like really timid, but yeah, if she doesn't, I'll definitely pass her testimonial along, but I will do my best to get her on, just even for a little bit, to share her experience with it.
Okay, that would be great. So while Shelby and maybe her mom, Kyla is going to just talk about her experiences of, trying out the energy products. And Sam, I think maybe getting someone as well. So does anyone else, we do need at least like, I'd say maybe one more testimonial. Does anyone have, yeah?
I do. I have a couple. So.
Do you have customers or people that we can also have on? So
I'll ask a couple people as well. Okay. It totally slipped my mind. I didn't even think about it. As soon as you started bringing it up, I was like, oh, I should probably do that. So
Lisa, even
I'll reach out to them.
Like about your dog, that's always a really great one. So you can also share.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And then Rosa,
sure.
what are you thinking?
I don't know if I could have him on. He's a little bit busy with work, but I can share my mom's boyfriend's testimonial as well as mine.
What's his on?
So he is diabetic and he was suffering from a lot of sciatica pain. So I gave him the insoles and also the jade green enzymes. And he hasn't complained about his sciatica. Like he was literally bedridden for weeks, like he couldn't go to work. So he started with conjunction with physio. He hasn't complained about his sciatica in like over a month, and he still wears the insoles, and he says they're great to the point where his physiotherapist actually wants to get his hands on some. So I might do a little business thing with his physio.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you can get him on, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I can.
With these calls, like this will be our first one, but it really is important to have it from the first person, because that is like people are more convicted by, your experience, not you telling someone else's experience.
Mhm.
But either way, we'll keep that in mind. So we have a bit of a lineup on the water, the energy products, and the insoles and enzymes. Okay. So today I'm just gonna tell you guys about the water and do kind of a water training. So you guys can get acquainted on how to speak about water. And what I think, like, just take notes, and also you can use this recording to like study it afterwards. Don't have anything prepared, so I'm kind of just gonna tell you what I do, because it's kind of for me, I've realized I've gotten it kind of down to an art form where I've learned how to just bring up speaking about the products to people. So I'm just gonna pull something up.
While you're setting up, I have a question. I invited someone on for tomorrow's call, forgetting that we changed Life on Purpose to Thursdays. So should I just make that like an ABC instead of?
Yeah, make it an ABC with my dad, because we currently don't have a Life on Purpose call, because we need people to be trained on what to say. Again, my dad has some ideas on things. I'm not 100% sure what, so he's going to talk to us about that. But yeah.
Okay.
Sorry guys, I don't know where my notes went. And I could say it anyways, but okay. Yeah, so I guess I could just go over what I kind of shared with Kyla. But this topic was kind of brought up because when I speak to somebody about the water, you want to know your audience as well. And so when I'm going somewhere and I know that somebody, like I have an idea or an understanding, or I know something about somebody that tells me that, hey, they're going to be interested in this product, I'll have my water bottle with me or something. And I think one of the best ways to bring something up very nonchalantly rather than, kind of forced on somebody is by asking them about themselves first. And so, because naturally the way people are, we're curious, right? When you ask somebody about something about themselves, they want to ask you about their self. So I just shared with her like a few examples of how I've gone about sharing the water in a natural conversation with somebody. And so one of them just was, asking the person how long they've been doing something for, or like, what do they do, right? And naturally they started to ask me what I did. And I started to share with them the business that I'm in, how I I started a business with my sister and my cousin. Actually, it's in health and wellness. We've partnered with a Japanese wellness technology company that honors the philosophy that our bodies can naturally heal themselves when put in within the right environment. And all the technologies that have been created are in order to replicate what happens naturally in nature, because nature itself heals. We know this through grounding and just being around waterfalls, the negative ions, different things, and what the technology that we have has incorporated those specific qualities, healing qualities of nature, in a way that can be brought into your home, so you can have those effects, those experiences within your home. So naturally that brings up, like, if I have a water bottle or something, I'd say, like, for example, like, this is one of the products, and I'll just stop speaking. And of course, naturally someone will want to know, well, like, what does it do? Like, what is that? Right? If I say, oh yeah, it's just this, what is it? Like, okay, well, let me tell you what it is. So one of the ways I start talking about the waterfall system is you want to ask people what they're currently drinking. So I'll ask someone, like, what do you currently drink? What are you currently using? A lot of times they say the fridge. A lot of times they say Brita. You can even ask, like, do you know what makes water important? And some people, like a lot of these people that I've spoken to, they have an understanding of water systems. A lot of them know about Kangen even, but they don't know that Nikken exists. They don't know what it is. And they don't know that it's natural. So I essentially say, like, well, do you know anything about alkaline water? Do you know why it's important? And asking people if it's what they know about the water system, right? Given that our bodies are 70% water, it's pretty important. You would assume it's pretty important how, what type of water that you're actually drinking, the quality of it. Does it hydrate you correctly? Does it provide you with minerals? Does it, is it serving you, or is it kind of deteriorating you? And not many people understand the fact that water actually does make a difference, and it can be worse on your body if it's not proper water. And so one of the things that I say is I start telling them about the story. And so I say, what Nikken has done is similarly to, so there was a study. Have you guys ever heard of the blue zones? Is what I'll ask someone. Have you guys, has anyone heard of the blue zones of the world? No? Some of you, yes, some of you, no. Okay. So answer me as if, no, I haven't. Okay. So one of the blue zones, what the blue zones are, is they actually are a population where majority of the people that live there tend to live over 100 years old. So they're super healthy. And what's really, really cool, like, I'll show interest in something as if, like, this is something I just learned and I think it's so cool. I think you'll find it cool too. Like, let me share it with you, right? Because you want to be kind of on their side with it. And so I'll tell them about this really cool story, how in Osaka, Japan is known as one of the blue zones of the world. And in Osaka, they did an experiment where they wanted to know, like, okay, why are these people living to be so old? Like, what makes them so special? And it came down to it where they started just looking at the environment. They noticed the plant life, how vibrant it was, how there wasn't, so resistant to pests. And they ended up tracing everything back to the water that would run within the streams, right? Because they're connected to wells, and what type of water they're drinking from those wells comes naturally from the ground, naturally through these rivers, while they pass stones and all these different things. So when they actually studied the qualities of the water, they realized that it had a specific pH level. It was alkaline water. It had specific mineral components in it, and it was structured in a way that actually increased your ability to be hydrated, cellular hydration. So what Nikken has done is Nikken took those components that was found from that study and put it into a system. So what we have is typically, like anything else, you have a gravity filter. What's great about this, you don't have to plug it in. There's no electricity. You just put it on your counter. You take tap water and you pour it into the basin at the top. And I let people know that it's a gravity filtration. So it falls through naturally. And as this process goes, it filters out 99.99% bacteria. It also filters out it has the ANSI NSF standards, 43 and 52, and those are for chlorine, chloramide, odors, sediments, and there might be something else, but yeah. So in terms of filtration, like if you're going to have any filter, you want to have the best quality filter. And in terms of filtering things, it filters out everything, including all the microplastics. When you think about it, bottled water, all these things, like you're drinking microplastics, and people don't realize how horrible that is for your body. But the second component to this is the mineral rocks. And why this is important, because, many filters, like your Brita filter, your fridge filter, you could be drinking that, but what you don't realize is you're actually really lacking minerals. And you're not only lacking minerals, you're actually losing minerals, because when you drink water that is purified and distilled and doesn't have any minerals in it, it actually, like, water is a solvent. And so when this water goes through your body, it looks for things to absorb. So it actually is taking minerals from your cells out and absorbing it into this water, and then you're peeing it out, essentially, because you don't absorb everything that you drink when you drink bottled distilled water, things like that. So it flushes out, and you actually end up losing minerals. And this is a process that anyone can look up. If anyone asks you about it, like, you can even ask them, like, hey, before you even tell them that, you can say, hey, did you watch like Zach Down to Earth? Because that's really good, because it gives you like a reference of, okay, this is a credible source. I'm not just saying this. And they talk about this in the water episode. So that's a very viable thing you could say to people, like, hey, have you watched Zach Down to Earth? Well, this is what they talked about in this episode. So there's that to it. So what the system does is our mineral rocks actually add minerals back into it. And there's specific questions some people might ask you. I'm not going to say it on here, okay, because we're recording. But if they ask you about fluoride, just ask me and I'll give you the answer on what to say about that. But yeah, so anyways, filters things out, adds the minerals back in. But there's a second component. Now, some water does add minerals into it. Yeah, there's some systems that do, but something that's unique to Niken that does not exist anywhere else. That's why when people say, oh yeah, I have something similar to that, I ask them what they have and I correct them, because even if you're not trying to get a sale out of it, I don't want people to have false understanding of what our water is. Because when you actually compare our water, there is nothing that exists like this one. There is nothing. It comes down to it. No system does what this does, because Niken has patented the magnetic technology. It's our magnetics. So we have when the third component is when the water comes out through the spout, there's actually a magnet there, and that magnet creates a magnetic field. And what magnetic fields are capable of doing is they're capable of restructuring things. So it actually restructures the water, and the correct word for it is microclusters. So it breaks the water down into microclusters, and those microclusters actually allow for our cells to absorb the water so much better. So what does that mean? It means that, number one, it also tastes better. You notice that there's no odors, like the odor that's with the filter. The water tastes better. The water feels silkier because there's things not in it, but it also feels silkier because it's actually like it's structured in a way that, your cells, like when you drink it, your cells actually absorb more. So when people say like, oh, they go to the bathroom, they have to pee a lot, that doesn't actually happen with this water when you're drinking it often. And it's because you're actually absorbing it. Especially now, consider the fact that minerals are a big deal in this, right? Your minerals absorbing into that. Now, I've done a lot of my research in terms of what all these things mean. And when you say this to somebody, I would make sure you do your research before you just say it, because people will question you on it for sure. But for example, why is it important to drink alkaline water? Why is it detrimental to drink fridge water, to drink a Brita? Because alkaline water is important for your body's functioning at its optimal state. When we're so used to drinking acidic foods, eating acidic foods, drinking acidic things, that our bodies actually, like acidity in science, if you research that is what actually leads to like the breakdown of cells, breakdown of oxidative stress. free radicals in the body, right? Free radicals, we get that from food. Free radicals are in food. Free radicals, if someone asks you like, it's like a negative, positively charged ion. So, you know, back to, like, I'll tell people back to chemistry class where you're looking at an ion or an atom, and there's one atom that's unstable. They call it an unstable atom, and it's unstable because it's missing an electron. It needs an extra pair, and so it will attach to anything. That is something that's called a free radical that actually does not do well because it's unstable in our body. So what Nikan water does is Nikan water is an actual natural antioxidant. So when you drink this water, it actually stabilizes like those free radicals in the body and helps again with the regeneration of the cells, keeping, you know, you actually healthy. But it also has the alkalinity. And so what we want is for ourselves, we want to be balanced. We don't want to be alkaline. We don't want to be acidic. We want to be balanced. And when our bodies are super acidic, drinking alkaline water helps to actually like make that more leveled. So for example, if you're taking, I'll actually do this with you guys to show you. And I sent these in the chat with Kyla. Me and Kyla did these experiments together. But if you're taking something like, I think Smart Water was the worst. And I'm just showing you guys this, but take something like Smart Water. Let me get Nikan water. Now this is a really drastic way of showing it because obviously your body will be a lot more acidic than Pure Life water. So it won't be that much, but if you see this, that shows that it's pretty acidic. That's around like 6.8. So this is acidic water. This is our PiMag water. As you can see, way like such a difference, right? This is over 8.5. If you look at the meter shows that that's 8.2. This is even brighter than that. So it's over 8.5. Now let's say this is your body. Again, it won't be exactly like this, but just to go for an example. You put a little in and it stabilizes it. So in our body, when we're drinking alkaline water, we're actually stabilizing the acidity. We're making it more of a neutral color, more of a neutral pH, helps with optimal functioning. So that's something that a lot of people don't know of, and I make sure that I let people know of that. The other thing is with the hydration. So as I was saying, you know, hydration is actually like if you are dehydrated by 3 to 4%, your performance decreases by 50%. So being hydrated is super crucial. And people think, oh yeah, let me drink a lot of water and I'm hydrated. But that's not actually true because your hydration level is equivalent to the quality of water that you are drinking. And if your water is not hydrating you to its max, you're not getting your proper hydration. So with PiMag water, it hydrates you to the max because it actually it has maximum cellular absorption when you drink the water. So it's really good for keeping hydrated. Again, another thing, if people don't know, 90% of headaches, like if someone says, oh, I get headaches a lot, like, do you get headaches like really frequently? Oh yeah, I get it all the time. Well, 90% of the headaches that you get are likely associated with being dehydrated. So you need to make sure you're hydrating correctly. Now, what type of hydration do you want? Do you want to be hydrated in the most quality water or water that's not that great for you or just not that high quality in general? So anyways, that's like kind of like the system operation of it. Again, I'm a little more fluent when I speak to people. I'm kind of just giving you guys all the facts. But yeah, when you compare things to like water, then you look at the price point, right? Especially people with environmentalists, like how much money do you spend on bottled water? How many bottles of water do you use? Things like that. This is completely biodegradable. You're saving money. You're also saving the planet, and all the filters, everything about it is biodegradable. So everything like is sustainable if you look at it itself. Now, when we say 10 cents a liter, what does that mean? Well, when you consider the cost of the product, how much it costs you to buy, and when you consider the cost of how many filters it takes to replace in a year, when you look at that, it comes down to 18 cents in the first year. If you drink 2.5 liters a day, because that's the recommended amount. If you drink 2.5 liters a day, it comes down to 18 cents. But why do we say 10 cents? We say 10 cents because why would you have the system for just a year? It comes down to the fact that I forgot the actual word for it, but the cost gets lower and lower as many years as you have it. So when you're at that 3-year mark, it becomes about 10 cents a liter. The system itself becomes about 10 cents a liter a day. Sorry, not 10 cents, 10 cents a liter, but actually I don't fully know that. It's either 10 cents a liter or 10 cents a day, but I'm pretty sure it's 10 cents a liter because that's the math that they did on it. I just did my own math recently, and when I broke it down to how much it cost a day for quality, highest water that you can have for 2.5 liters, that's the amount that you're supposed to have the day, it's 18 cents within the first year. So that cost will always break down, and you can just do that math simply by adding everything up, timesing it by the amount of liters, and then doing the amount of days, right, of the year. So when you look at the comparison between the other systems, other technologies, and you want to always ask people, like, if they're skeptical about prices or things like that, you ask them, okay, well, what are you currently drinking? Like, always go back to how much are you currently spending and what is more important to you? Because when you look at the breakdown, it's actually way more affordable to have a system that will last you over 10 years, because I've literally had mine for probably like 8 now. Like, I've had it for a very long time. So would you rather have a system that lasts you that long, that you don't have to replace, that you only replace the filters? You spend about $200 a year on getting the new filters. That's pretty much it. And yeah, do you guys have any questions on like just talking to people about it, about the system itself?
So when someone compares another filter or another system, what's like your typical go-to answer? Like, do you go based off of like it being alkaline water?
Give me an
or
example and I'll answer it.
like for example, I tried to explain this to my mom and she's like, yeah, like I'll get one for the house in Spain, but there's no point in having it at the house in Toronto because we have the fridge filter.
Do you know what the fridge filter is?
Like the one that you just put your glass on.
Pretend I'm your mom. Pretend you're your mom and I'm speaking to you. I would literally say to her, it's not the same. It's completely
why?
Because your fridge filter is acidic. Your fridge filter, I would also ask her, do you know how much it actually filters? Do you know what it filters? Like, have you looked up the level of filtration? Because I know this filter meets the top standard that exists. Does your mom care about like viruses? Does she care about bacteria? Does she care about, is she skeptical about those things?
Mm-hmm.
This filters out viruses. Does hers? She should look into it. Say, you should look into that. You should double check if yours does. Because you don't know that. Is it acidic? You should test the pH level. Get a pool test. It costs you $9 at Canadian Tire. Go get a pool test and do an example. See
I'm
how
gonna
show her how acidic the water is. Ask her, does she care about, does she know what antioxidants are?
Mm-hmm.
Does she care about them? Does she think there's something that she needs?
Yes.
This water is an antioxidant. Wouldn't that be cool? Be drinking antioxidants. There's always an answer to somebody. Does your water have minerals in it? No. Does she know that she's actually losing minerals by drinking that water? There's always an answer.
I love it. I just feel like it's harder with your family. Like I don't want it to turn into a fight, you know?
But you're not, because here's the thing. It will never turn into a fight when you're not arguing something. You're only stating facts. When I say this stuff, I'm never arguing with someone. And I'm always asking them questions. Let them tell you that they're wrong. Let
Got
them
it.
literally ask her, do you know how much you're like, like the filtration level of that? Like, let her tell you that she is wrong in saying what she's saying. And she'll do it subconsciously, because the truth is you're only saying facts. You're not arguing with anyone. And the key to that is honestly getting so confident with the facts. I've just gotten so confident with the facts that I just know them. So whenever someone says something to me, I can instantly just answer because I have that like understanding. What about you guys? Do you guys have any other questions about it?
I, from the top of my head, not right now. I probably will have more questions, but I did want to say that this was really informative and thank you for doing this. I took lots of notes.
Good.
Yeah, super informative. Like I've made my few Instagram posts, like I've looked into all the details myself, but there were so many points that you touched on that I was like, oh, I didn't actually know that.
Good.
So
Okay, I'm glad. It's like sometimes I don't realize because I just like know it. I'm like, I feel like everyone knows it. Moya, what did you say? What would you reply to someone who keeps saying they'll do their own research? On what? Ask them, what are you going to research? Like, or actually, I wouldn't even say that to me. So be honest, I'd be like, okay, here's the link. Do your own research.
Okay.
Send them the water and wellness page. That's all the research that they need.
Okay.
And then if they want to, you can even tell them if they're having questions, they ask me any of your questions. I wouldn't take it as a skepticalness actually. If they just say they'll do their own research, then give them the research to look into.
Yeah, I told
Right?
her.
Look
Like,
into antioxidants, look into what acidic water does for your body. Look into what leads to what's oxidate. Look up the word oxidative stress. When you look up those things, you'll find the links.
okay, perfect.
But yeah. We also have, there's like, I remember just from our, our event that we did, I had some notes that, I mean, I don't say this unless unless it comes up, but I'll just share with you guys some facts since, you guys have liked the facts. So, what else? Oh yeah, chronic dehydration. 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. I'm pretty sure that's actually in one of the, I think it's actually on the Nikan website. Let's see. There's Life and Balance. So there's called the Self-Care Awakening Healthy by Choice. Oh, you have to buy it. Okay, well, anyways. It talks, I'm pretty sure it says in there that 75% of Americans are dehydrated, which is a fact. Again, I like end up looking up the facts if I have to. That's why I only say those things if I like need to say it, because then you have to make sure you provide them with something, right? If they ask at least. But yeah, then what's interesting is like tap water, right? When people say, like, what do you think is worse, tap or bottled water? What would you guys say?
That's a toughie.
naturally, I'd say tap.
Tap?
I'd say tap because bottled could be like, it's such an array of different types, right? There could be like really bad bottled or like amazing bottled water.
Okay, well, that is a point there. But did you guys know there's actually stricter safety regulations on tap water than there are on bottled water? Didn't even know that.
That's crazy.
There's stricter regulations on it, which is wild. Of course, like bottled water is usually more filtered, but there are stricter regulations. And that the average bottled water contains 325 microplastics per liter. And I remember who shared it. There was somebody, I think it was Tiffany. She shared it with us in the group chat on Instagram. There was this girl, she was talking about like actually for males, how, and I don't just publicly say this. If I'm having a conversation with somebody that I know, that's when I'll tell them this. But this girl was speaking on what she learned about microplastics and how for men, they're actually will cause like infertility in men. Like they're really bad for men. So they're bad for everybody, but like specifically for men, like there's been a decline in things. So it's crazy if you actually think about what it actually does to you. And then, oh yeah, there was the Environmental Protection Agency extenuates more than 60,000 chemicals are present in tap water. Didn't even know that. So yeah, it comes down to the fact that water is not a nice to have. It's not a luxury. It's a necessity. And when you break it down into two things, like what are the two, when people, if someone cares about their health, I'd ask them, what do you think the two top important things that actually determine your health are? It's water and sleep. Water and sleep determine how healthy you are. So if you're drinking shit water and you're not having great sleep, then those are the two things that are going to determine like your like lifespan. That's honestly the way I see it personally. So another thing, like, right, guys, your level of conviction is only as much as you like act in those ways. I am so confident because I literally will not touch any other type of water. Like, I won't. My friends know this about me. I bring my water wherever I go. I'm even sarcastic with it. Like, there was one person who was kind of just sharing, like, I was out and he was sharing my system with someone that he was working with who's in health and wellness. And they're like, oh, you should check, like, she's in health and wellness too. And I literally said to him, I'm like, you can't be talking about me and health and wellness when you've never even tried my products. And that got me a sale, because I literally called him out and said, you can't talk about it. You don't know what you're talking about. When you call people out, they're a lot more, they also trust you a lot more because you're being completely honest with them. When my friends drink tap water, I literally say, you're poisoning yourself. Good job. Like, I call them out in front of them because that's the only level of, that's how much I am confident about the system, and my level of conviction is only going to rub off. So just keep in mind, if you want to be confident in, your water in this product, then you need to learn everything that you can about it. And you need to be so convicted that you won't drink anything else. That's honestly where I'm at. And I think that's why, like, I personally like talking about this. Another thing I will share with you guys, if you guys do know any crystal lovers, I know there's some crystal lovers on this call, but you can ask anyone if they've heard of Dr. Emoto. Have you guys heard of Dr. Emoto? Now, I only say this for people that would actually understand this. Have you heard of Dr. Emoto?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have. Okay, so he's somebody who basically conducted a study and found that water has memory. So when you say, what he did is he actually took water, different types of water too. He took tap water and he tested the frequency of tap water. Tap water had a very low frequency. And when you take the frequency of something that was like filtered, it was different, right? And so he also did experiments where he would say, I love you to water and leave it. And every day he would say, I love you, I love you, I love you. But then to another glass of water that was the same type of water, he would say, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And then he froze them both and he tested them. And he would test the crystallized structures of this water. And when you looked at them under a microscope, the water that he said, I love you to, was such beautifully shaped, such a beautiful form. The water that he said, I hate you to, was barely even a crystal. And so it showed it was the exact same water, but just different frequency, different intention put into that water. Because frequency can be even your voice, right? And so he also tested this with different types of water and doing this experiment in different ways. You can look up Dr. Emoto, like, you'll see everything about it. It's really cool. And so in this experiment, like, you can even notice tap water doesn't have a very high frequency. So what's the really cool thing about a magnet? Well, a magnetic field is one of the only things that can actually wipe away a frequency that currently existed. So I don't know about you guys, and this is just my own personal testament. I literally, like, if I drink tap water, my heart, like, my body feels heavy. Number one, the water feels heavy. Like, it's hard water. Doesn't taste good, doesn't feel good. And I feel it in my heart. Like, I'm somebody who's very sensitive with, like, frequency, and I believe in all that energy wise. And I notice a difference in how I feel when I drink it. Like my heart, like I swear, like closes. And what's cool is like with a magnetic, like I said, it wipes away frequencies. So you can filter water. You can take out tap, a lead, metals, all these different things. But what still exists is the frequency. And what's really incredible about this, the magnetic component to this, is that it will wipe away the frequency that was currently there, or that was previously there. So again, that's something that I share with people who I know will kind of have an understanding of it. And if they won't have an understanding of it, then, I mean, if you still want to share it with them, like you can still explain to them, tell them to look up Dr. Emoto. And yeah, it's a really cool one. Hi, Bubba.
Hi.
I was just doing
Hey there.
a water training.
Good. I don't want to interrupt. Just
Well, we just
you
finished.
asked me if I would check in, so I'm
Yeah,
checking in.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, everybody, for your messages. I really appreciate it. I really do. It's crazy day today. I had absolutely nothing scheduled, and then it just got blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, wow, I feel like a ping pong ball today. So it's good and it's bad and it's everything. But I know you guys are having some challenges with the IT stuff. Listen, if I told you stories, it'd be like horror stories, but I promise you, I can only tell you my stories, but I promise you, have faith. This is a company that has a manifest destiny. It will not fail you. So just hang in there. We're getting all things sorted. I'm not even we, it's this, they're getting things sorted out. And whenever I can step in, let me, because I have back channels and, you know, they usually take my calls immediately and do what I ask. So if you've got some things, some hiccups, just give me a holler, just send me a text or whatever. Kyla, you got that sorted out, right? Did they call you?
Yeah, they called me. Elena gave them my number and they called me, and I got myself a water pack and I ordered my dad a waterfall.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. I look forward to hearing your stories because you're going to love this product. So
I
anyway,
also have a question on the water, if maybe you're able to answer it. Savannah and Shelby were a little bit unsure before, and I feel like you might know. My grandma lives in Spain and her water is well water. Do you know
Me
how
too.
the yeah?
Yeah.
But it goes
well
through a
water.
reverse osmosis first, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
She doesn't have that. So all of her taps and all of her shower heads are all clogged because there's too much calcium and you
right.
can't drink the water. So I'm wondering if this filter, if the shower filter will filter that out and it will be able to take the calcium away so we can drink it and shower.
I do not, it will not remove the calcium. That's no, that's not one of the things that I recall it solving.
It
Okay.
is soft water though, however. She was saying that it's hers is hard water, but it does make the water softer water, like the shower head itself.
But it's still going to clog the shower head, I think.
Yeah, that's like a hard mineral. She
My
should
parents
probably
have a lot of like iron and calcium in their water, and the filter does do a good job at reducing like a lot of it. Like it's made a difference for sure in my mom's hair, but I'm not sure if it like if the calcium in their well water compares to what you have in Spain, right?
Okay.
I'm not sure about the amounts, but
Would Dave know, Papa?
I mean,
Would Dave know?
Balzer?
Yeah.
Possibly. Did you see I sent him not that long ago, I put a document out. It's probably an SL Tools, which has I don't remember. There's so much information. I can't remember if I sent it to you guys, but it had all what was the waterfall was tested against. I think I did share it with you guys because it's a very extensive list and it shows you the reduction in each of the things that it's tested for. It's like 3 pages or something like that. It's like very extensive. Anyway, I'll see if I can find it again. But, you know, listen, one thing we know is it doesn't hurt. It only enhances. So everything is an enhancement. And if they're looking for an improvement, then that's definitely Spain, huh? Be nice to have a reason to go to Spain.
I'm trying to make it into a wellness home.
Who can she get in contact with? Because I think it'd be good to just ask somebody and just let them know of that anyway.
Honestly, honey, those are such specific questions that that it's hard for me to answer that question. I know that
I
there
think I'm
was,
just gonna test it out.
there you go. There you go. Anyway, I don't want to interrupt. I checked in like you asked me to, and I've got my call to
Yeah.
get on.
Why don't you just, we'll have Rose go after this, but why don't you just share, like, what is kind of your understanding of what's going to happen this week?
This week specific. Oh, okay. So Nikin's extended the
No, I
month
know
end
that,
for 2 days.
sorry, for our calls. I meant.
Oh, sure. Okay. Well, first of all, Nikin has extended the month
I
2
told him that.
days to sort through whatever it is that we're sorting through. And so I don't know if you guys have ever been in IT or in an IT situation. This is not my first rodeo with Nikin going through an IT shift. And it's as much as you can plan for anything. When it comes to IT, don't ask me why. I think a computer's supposed to just do what it's told. But it seems that once something actually goes live, it takes on another identity. And then they're dealing with the very specifics that somehow when you connect and link everything together, you didn't see or you didn't catch, or it just starts acting in a weird way. So we're in that phase, unfortunately, which was not avoidable until they went live. So it's like down the torpedoes, we got to move forward. From what I know, what's coming in terms of the tools that they're developing and have already developed, there's one they're launching in March, and this has to be in place for that to happen. So it's like, we just got to move forward. All I know is the vision for Vision 2025 could not have functioned on the platform they had. So they had to go into this platform, and fraught as it is with these things, I'm learning stuff on the back office I didn't know it was there. So it's going to be a little bit of a orientation, because there's things that are not where I expect it to be, and then they're actually there, but I didn't see it. And because you've seen something a certain way for so long. Anyway, you guys are probably going to be a lot more adept at this than I am. It's hard to teach an old dog a new trick, but I'm willing, I'll do what it takes to keep up. Anyway, with respect to this week, I thought what we would do, the goal here is to have this rhythm. The rhythm is such an important part of the business. You can read it in my book. You can listen and learn from the Latinos. The rhythm of the business is a key thing to creating growth and momentum in a business. Whether you're doing it as a small team, as an individual, or as a company, there has to be a rhythm in order for momentum to be established, in order for people to have a sense of stability in their business. We don't have an office. Like if you worked as an employee, you go in when you go in, you leave when you leave, and everything's organized, and there's your rhythm. We're familiar with it, and it allows us to create a sense of stability, an environment people get comfortable with. But then you step into this thing called self-employment. And the first thing you have to learn how to do is give yourself a command and actually follow it. It's one thing when you're under the gun as an employee and they tell you, do this, be this, and all that stuff. And you do it because you're an employee. You have to do it, or you think you have to do it because that's your job. But the second you become your own boss, it's almost as if you forgive yourself from being accountable. It's this weird thing that happens when somebody becomes self-employed, that they somehow lack the responsibility and the discipline that they would give to an employer, they don't give to themselves in building their own company. I don't know the psychology of that 100%, but I just know it's a fact. So this rhythm creates a stability in our business. It creates a system that people can tap into and plug into. When you're busy doing your thing and you want your downline to be able to plug into something, you want to know it's there. And it's going to provide whatever it's going to provide. So right now we're in the throes of creating a team rhythm, which will then integrate with the Nikin rhythm in North America, which then integrates with the global rhythm. So it's just part of how you erect this business from the ground up. And so the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is a rhythm. So far, it's been intermittent. It's been hit and miss. It's been, hey, everybody jumps on board at the beginning because it's like new, but then it's like, what happens? So we're trying to make amendments so that it becomes functional and useful to you, so that you're not a bystander or simply not participating. So the first thing I'd like to suggest, and we've kind of decided, is that Tuesday will be a product night. I'm going to pull up one of the PowerPoints that I use, which really is short, but it talks about the products in the context of that from a larger perspective. But then we can zoom in on the categories, and then you guys can talk
Wait.
about it.
Okay, so
So one of the things that Leo LeMay, his system, who's the top dog in Canada, the thing that he's got going that seems to be leading the charge in every which way is he's got a product call. He's got a 30-minute product call where they talk nothing about business. It's just testimonials. And they invite customers and they record it. And then they send that recording, that short recording, to people who didn't show up, who were supposed to have showed up. And they listen to those recordings of these testimonies, and it just naturally intrigues people. You guys see it. When you see the testimonies on the chat, or when you hear those testimonies, there's no question about it. It just gets people excited about learning more. So if we do Tuesday night with a focus on the products, then anybody who wants to know the business side of this, they come Thursday night and they can learn the business side of this. This, of course, is not to replace any of the things that you've been taught so far, which is ABC calls, using the website and all that. It's not a replacement to it, but there's nothing like live. Live is live. I could be saying the same thing on a recording. It's not going to have the same impact as live. Live is live. So when you have those live events as a backstop, and those live events are supported by live testimonials, a person as a guest is on a live call and they're hearing somebody spontaneously speak, it's not a recording. It's a real interaction. And so there's nothing that's going to beat a live interaction. It's always going to be the thing that has more impact than anything. We love the videos. We love the convenience of that. We love that we can share them with people. It's easy to share, but it's not going to have the impact that a live call has. And the most important part of a live call, the most important part of a live call, is testimonials. Live testimonials of people sharing their experience, their point of view, whatever. So I want to make those live calls really lean into that. Tuesday being the product, Thursday being the business, and then Saturday will be, it's there. I would love it for it to be something that, you know, if you got somebody who has business questions, they want to know, you know, the more intimate details of how does this work and all that, that Saturday can be that. Every other time is every other time that you can arrange one-on-ones, ABCs, whatever. That doesn't preclude the other times of the calendar. But you just need to know, and your team just needs to know, if all else fails, I got Tuesday, I got Thursday, I got Saturday. If all else fails, I can point people to that. So it's your backstop. I think what you'll find, as you probably find being on this call, is that it's actually kind of nice to be on a call with people who share a like mind, who share a vision, who share a possibility and so forth, and to talk to one another. I think you'll find that, you know, that's the side of the business that's irreplaceable. And you can imagine what I've had. I mean, I've just, the experiences that I've had in this organization and being a part of this, leading from the very first experience that I had standing on stage in Japan for the first time. I was 3 months old in Nikken. I won a trip to Japan, you know, those trips they have. And I'm sitting there on stage for 3,000 Asians, and they're all like Taiwan, Hong Kong, all these different countries. Everybody's got their earphones on because nobody can understand what I'm saying. It has to go through they have booths at the back of the room doing translations. You got flags everywhere. I felt like I was at the United Nations. And then the owner of the company, the current owner, the person who was the president CEO of Nikken North America, who became owner, turns to me. Of all the people on stage, there's 100 of us. There's 5 of us from Canada. There's 95 of them from the United States for this trip. And I'm just this new kid. And he turns to me and he says, "Would you say a few words on behalf of Canada?" In front of all these people. And that was like, damn, what are you going to do? Like, you just do what you ask. You do it. And you're going to have that. You're going to have these experiences as we get out of this craziness of not being able to visit with each other in person. And when we resume our live events and things like that, that's going to become the thing that you look forward to the most. So live events, nothing replaces live events, because your presence, your energy is going to speak to the people who are there. And I see if there is a willingness for you to make the effort, it will grow. The momentum will be established, and then you won't want to miss one. You wanted to say something, Savannah? Oh shoot, I'm late for my call.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
God.
gonna say you have to go.
Okay, I gotta go, guys. Sorry, I
fully
really do have
answer
to
what
go.
I meant. What I meant
Okay.
for you to say.
See you guys. Thanks everybody for all the wishes.
He did not answer what I what I was asking him to answer. All right. Anyways, just show up tomorrow. There's gonna be something. Come with your testimonials. And we'll figure out the rest.
So my sister has some questions on all the products and stuff. Would this be a good opportunity to invite her to this call tomorrow?
Yes, invite her for sure.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna write down someone to invite too. I don't want to forget.
And it's going to be the same link Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Monday. Yes, so Saturday is going to be a booking basis, I believe. It's more of a booking. It's still like the what it takes, but just make sure you book with my dad so he knows to show up.
Okay.
Okay, Rose, your turn. Is it just the video? Do you want to say anything to us about it?
Well, I hope you guys haven't watched it because I wanted something to be new, but maybe, possibly some of you watched it, so you get to watch it again. I'll just probably say a couple of things after, but yeah, you can go ahead and play it.
Okay.
Your brain is the most powerful weapon in the world. Once you put away your phones and your computers and all that we have nowadays, yeah, that's great. We're up to date. But your brain is the only thing you have when you're going through depression, when you're going through hard times, when you're going through death, real life. You can't Google that, man. You're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to, you may have a best friend you're going to, but there's 24 hours in a day where you're alone in this brain, and your brain is talking to you in all kinds of ways, and it wants to control you, pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you got to tell your brain where you want to go and how you want to go and how you want to get there. You got to control it. If not, it's over. What existed for me was, okay, man, how am I going to make this work? And all I knew back then was hard work. The only way anything gets accomplished. That's all I heard back in those days. You got to work hard. You got to work hard. I'm not getting I can't get this paragraph. I can't remember what the in this paragraph to pass this test to get in the military. Read it again. Still not getting it. Read it again. But if not getting it, write it out. And that's how I started learning. Okay, well, I got to write out everything I do. And then write it out again. And write it out again. And guess what happened? I got it. I can't swim. I'm negative buoyant. Go back again. I can't swim. Go back again. Go back again. Go back again. I got it. I realized if I keep going back and going back and going back until the just becomes, your mind will say, okay, we're going to figure it out, because he is not going to stop.
If you have more than $10,000 in the bank and you don't know this, I can promise you that you're missing out on the opportunity.
It's not like I'm going to try one more time. No, it's just like alarm clock goes off, boop, we're going back. I can't read right, we're going back. I gave myself no way out, and my mind realized that. They said, okay, we're going to adapt and overcome now. like a lot of people say, trying hard. Your mind knows, man. It knows this guy's bull. Man, this guy's lying. There's no truth behind it. When I was in Navy SEAL training, people go, how were you there for 18 months? The program was only 6 months long. You were in 3 hell weeks in 1 year. No one's ever done that. How did you do that? I talk about the new norm. When I lived in a $7 a month place when I was growing up for a short period of time, I loved it. I didn't know any different. That was my norm. Once we moved out of that place, we moved to a $236 a month place. I was like, I never want to go back to that little piece of shit. But if you go back to that $7 a month place and you realize this is where I live, this is all I got. Your mind says, roger that, this is home. So when I was going to Navy SEAL training for 18 months and going back through all the hard parts over and over again, I told myself after the first time, I knew it was gonna be a long journey there. My body was breaking down. It was just how it was going on. I said, you know what? This is my new norm. So my mind said, it's like going to work. Like you go to work, you put your suit and tie on. I go into suffering every day. Every day, suffering, being broken, duct taping my feet up, stress fractures, shin splints, being broken. This is my new norm. And your mind says, if we're not broken, this ain't normal. We gotta be broken. So then your mind starts to get tougher and tougher and more callous. People, how'd you run on broken feet? Broken shins. My mind knew this is how we operate. We're in Navy SEAL training. This is what we are. I became hell. And that became my new norm. I gave myself no way out. There was nothing outside these walls of hell. Nothing. I love God, but for a short period of time, I became the devil because that was hell. I became the boss, the owner, the CEO of Navy SEAL training. That was my mindset. And that's how you get through things. You immerse yourself wherever it is, and you become that. You become that and give yourself no way out. When I was 297 pounds and I was fat as hell trying to be a Navy SEAL, the scariest thing in the world to me, even to this day, was that could have been the rest of my life. I thought then I was trying hard. That's the scariest thing in the world. I thought then, 297 pound, working for Ecolab, spraying for cockroaches, making $1,000 a month. I thought that was me at my 100% potential. Come to find out, a few years later, I wasn't anywhere near that. 106 pounds less, graduate Navy SEAL training, went on to do all these other things. Looking back on that was me trying hard. That's why people got to understand what is in us. We have no idea until we start trying hard. And I mean, really trying hard, where you're obsessed with, hey, this is my new norm. My new norm is that, wow, this isn't always fun. It's not always meant to be fun. And that's when you know you're trying hard. People hear my story and think this guy's sadistic. I realized how the brain works. I figured out how the brain works. I'm a scared kid, and that's what gives me so much power. I had no foundation, and I built this off of just researching the mind. The feeling you get is basically invincibility. You realize that you can't do it all the time. When you need to do it, I know I can go to a place that I can live in. And when you know that you can run on broken legs and you can do certain things that a lot of people can do, but they're not willing to do, this power, this sympathetic nervous system of fight or flight, and you're fighting, it gives you this charge of energy of when you're sitting there at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and you're duct taping your feet up because they're broken, and you're doing it by yourself, and you're going through arguably one of the hardest training in the world. And these guys, most of them are healthy, and you're going through it broken, and you're already at a disadvantage, but you're still there. You can feed into that and tap into that for a lot of power. But if you look at it, well, I'm broken, man. Like, I'm not gonna make it. But if you look at it as, man, I'm broken and I'm still here. And I'm fighting. I'm going to find a way to get through this because I have no other place to go. It gives you a lot of power. When things start to suck really, really bad, my brain and a lot of people's brain, they don't go to your dad beating you up. Your brain says, we get out of here. This is miserable. So anger goes away a lot of times when you're suffering because your brain just says, we got to run. We got to go. So that anger is not popping up saying, oh, I want to show them. I want to show those people. No, there has to be a much deeper. When I say deeper, it has to be down to mineral soil. It has to be down to that nice mineral soil where nothing can burn. You can't burn dirt. So it has to be down that low, that literally is something in you that's at the core of your soul. But you don't find it unless you spend a lot of time with what you want to be in life. I can't give that to you. Right. You can't give it to somebody. When you find your true passion in life, and my passion for me was like, oh, I want to be, I didn't give Navy SEALs, Army, I don't give a shit. I want to serve my country. I want to be someone that I'm proud of. I want to look at myself in the mirror because I was so disappointed. That accountability mirror I talk about, I was so disappointed in what I saw every day. I wanted everybody to love David Goggins. And a lot of people did. I didn't love myself. But I knew a lot of us want to find peace first. So people say, man, you always talk about this suffering and pain. And I'm at peace right now because I went through that. You don't find peace first. If you do, Merry Christmas. More power to you. More power to you. I found peace on the opposite end of finding myself. And no one really finds himself without going through trials, tribulations, suffering, accountability. And accountability is suffering. Being accountable every day for doing right for yourself, for the people next to you, it's miserable. It's hard. So, even the smallest details.
Thanks everyone for staying and watching. Yeah, so I just wanted to quickly brush on a couple of points. In the beginning, he was talking about how he's taking a test and he just can't remember it, but he tried to go through the notes in his head over and over again, try to write it down over and over again until he got it. That's really interesting. They showed like a little clip of someone writing notes. I'm telling you, and I thought this was like a hoax. I was like, no, I can just remember it in my head. But when you write, your ability to think exacerbates itself. You become more of a critical thinker when you're able to jot down your thoughts in a cohesive manner. So that one is really, really interesting. He brushes up on working hard versus working smart. I just feel like the problem with the education system is that they teach us what to think, not how to think. And I feel like they also teach us work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard, instead of you can work hard, but you can work smart, therefore you can work efficiently. And yeah, that was really interesting as well. Keep trying, don't stop. Also brushes up on growth mindset versus stagnant mindset. Being able to extend yourself to uncomfortable lengths to be able to achieve something, rather than saying, nah, I can't do this, I'll back out. Because you will stay stagnant that way if you keep backing out on the things that will help elevate you as an individual who is hopefully striving for success. And yeah, he talks about the new norm, how the hard parts, think about the hard parts over again. It could stem back to shadow work, which is the ability to tap into uncomfortable and or traumatic memories, situations, and when tapping into those things, you can change the way you perceive them versus how you used to perceive them. And there becomes a new shift in consciousness in doing that. And this is essentially how you heal yourself. Again, that whole mind over matter debate. He says, I'm broken and I'm still here. So that basically means if you're all the way at rock bottom, the only way you can go is up. So just go for it. And yeah, I just think that this perfectly ties into, and by the way, I had such a hard time choosing a video. I had a bunch of like Jordan Peterson excerpts, and although I love him to death, he is quite difficult to follow sometimes. So I was like, you know what, let's just go with this video. And I think it ties in perfectly with Nikan's philosophy, being able to alter your consciousness in order to attain a certain goal, and you know, not doubting yourself in every step of the way and just going for it full-fledged. There's nothing you can lose, just do it. So I wanted to share that with y'all, and yeah, I hope some things resonated with you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Rose.
Thank you, Rose. I really liked the I feel like it ties into the terror barrier that we talked about a couple weeks ago in regards to like once you hit that, you gotta like push through because like what your goal is on the other side. And so just like he said, like he's like duct taping his feet up and still pushing through these exercises, and he's like, I'm broken, but I'm still here, I'm still showing up. Because yeah, he could have stopped right there and said, you know what, I'm in pain, I'm gonna let myself heal. But he's like, look, better me, my goal is on the other side. The person I want to be proud of is on the other side of that pain. So I feel like it really does tie into that.
Yeah, exactly. And like they don't realize that the endorphins and the adrenaline that rush through your body, sometimes you can't even feel the pain. So it's so fascinating how much potential the body can have to withstand environmental or physical stresses or mental stresses. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, girl.
All right, guys. Well, this is a great call. Thanks all. I'll share with you guys in the chat also, because there was I did mention this on our call today, and I do want to mention it again. Every month, Nikan does events, and we always post them in the chat. It's really, really important to actually stay up to date with the chat and to ask questions and to inquire about Nikan events, because you guys are plugged into the Sovereign Life team, but Nikan itself is much greater, and there is a lot to learn, and there's a lot of people to be connected to that are in similar fields as you. And there's always events happening, and we always share every one of them. This last a few days ago was Senko Kai. It's the monthly event that happens every month at the end of the month. And that's where you'll hear other testimonies of people from all over North America, South America even. I think actually Senko Kai, this one is specifically North America, but you'll hear doctors, and you'll hear vets, you'll hear anybody from any background. And it's great because, you know, if someone you resonate with, you can also get connected with them. You just have to ask. So these events have been, of course, yeah, they're optional, but they really should be looked at as mandatory, because it really enriches your experience of Nikan and your understanding of knowing the products and how they work and how they've helped. So keep in mind, it's every month at the end of the month. Next month, it will be at the end of the month as well. I believe there will also be a recording, and I'm sure my dad will post it. So if you want to watch this one that just passed, highly recommend watching it. I spoke at it, and there was also a lot of testimonies around like even like the water. One person, specifically a doctor, was speaking on the water. So I'll see if that is being recorded. If not, then I'll send you my excerpt. But I want you guys to watch it, so I'm not going to send it unless it's actually not available for you to watch. So yeah, that being said, have a good night, guys. We went a little over, but Kyla, we'll do your meditation another time, maybe next week.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, and then Shelby's gonna go next week for the segment, she said. So yeah. All right, guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Night. Bye.